Cowboy. How will this impact Dak and the Cowboys next season?
I think it's going to impact them a great deal. You're losing, if these reports turns out to be true, you're losing a great leader. You're losing your best route runner, your biggest number one deep threat. And I know everybody's excited about what CeeDee Lamb is providing, but all of what he's providing was given Amari Cooper as your number one. He didn't garner that attention as the number one guy. CeeDee Lamb did not. So when you exclude Amari Cooper from the equation, that puts a lot more pressure on your young receiving core. CeeDee Lamb being that number one guy, wearing that 88, he's going to have those shoes to now fill. And also it puts pressure on Dak Prescott. Like Dak Prescott has already showed some ability to taper off in the finale of the season, and you exclude an Amari Cooper, a guy who allowed you the freedom and the luxury to get separation and to start to have plays being made by your receiving core when Dak Prescott was struggling, when he was not this $40 million man. You lose all of that. You lose that quiet, calm voice that we talk about receivers being diva. This is a non-diva guy, a guy who just comes to work with his lunch pail when he's healthy and he produces. 27 years old, he'll be 28 when the regular season starts. He still has a lot of juice left. And I believe that the Dallas Cowboys will very much so miss Amari Cooper if he ends up being released.
Agreed. This is going to have a massive impact on the Dallas Cowboys. And it once again it mystifies me. Jerry Jones is a brilliant businessman. His ability to see the opportunity and to invest in things and make a gazillion dollars off of it is second to none. And yet when it comes to his football team, his investments, his portfolio fails time and time again. Because let's be clear, do they have to cut Amari Cooper? No, they do not have to cut Amari Cooper. And by the way, this news or this report really isn't that different from what we heard Stephen Jones saying the other day, where he was making it clear, no, Ezekiel Elliott, he's here to stay because of the money that we've invested in him. Amari Cooper, he was a little more vague about. That was a very much a tell in terms of where we're headed. So not a surprise at all. But Jerry Jones invested in Ezekiel Elliott in a big way. Jerry Jones invested in Dak Prescott in a big way. He's already labeled CeeDee Lamb as the next great wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. Wanted him to wear the number 8, the legendary number 8, because he believes in that so strongly. And where are we? We're looking at it saying, oh no, if they lose Amari Cooper, the impact that that's going to have on CeeDee Lamb, the impact that that's going to have on Dak Prescott, it's playing Jenga and pulling the wrong piece out. And that is what, haven't we seen this over and over again with the Dallas Cowboys, investing your money in the wrong place or investing too much, and as a result, your team is compromised because you make another business decision and decide, I don't want to break the bank, I don't want to take a penalty when it comes to Amari Cooper and trying to keep him in the fold. A vital piece to all those other pieces, but you don't pay Dak Prescott that kind of a salary if he's dependent on the other pieces. He's the guy who's supposed to make Amari Cooper better. He's the guy who's supposed to make CeeDee Lamb better. He's the guy who's supposed to take the weight off of Ezekiel Elliott. And we've seen that not to be the case. And that's why from the very beginning, I thought this is a dangerous proposition, making Dak Prescott a $40 million player, because he's too dependent on the pieces around him to be good. And the cost of paying Dak is going to cost you those other pieces.
Yeah.
That's an equation that simply does not work. And for all of the great business decisions that Jerry Jones has made, he continues to make ones that undermine the Dallas Cowboys' ability to get where he ultimately wants to go, which is another Super Bowl.
Yeah, Rick, we talked about this last summer when everybody said you got to pay Dak Prescott. You got a franchise quarterback. You got to give him $40 million. You gave Mahomes $40 million. Josh Allen got it paid. You got to pay Dak. Okay. Well, the irony is Dak only became a great quarterback when Amari Cooper arrived. And this is not like me taking a shot at Dak. This is reality, Dallas fans. Go look at the numbers. Dak made the jump to light speed when they traded for Amari Cooper. They add Cooper, all of a sudden Dak's numbers go up, Cowboys get better, Cowboys become a winner. You pay Dak, you got to pull from somewhere. But I will point this out. I know it's easy, a lot of guys going to take shots at Jerry Jones. And, you know, it's funny. We praise Stephen Jones when things are going good. When things go poorly, Jerry, what are you doing? Jerry, fix things. But I saw Patrick Mahomes get paid, yet they're able to retain Kelsey. They're able to retain Tyreek Hill. What have they not done in Kansas City? Overpay the running back position. It's running back by committee. Can we get this guy in here? Give us a bunch of carries next season. What do we got at running back? Jerry has miscalculated. And I know that he's a great businessman and, you know, you don't become a billionaire by making all bad business decisions. But, Greg, you know, your position, wide receiver, matters more than running back. But Jerry is so wedded to relationships. Ezekiel Elliott is cool. Women love him. He's a party animal in Dallas. There's some legendary stories during COVID about, hey, Zeke, I'm living it up. I'm not shutting it down. Zeke was throwing some good parties last summer. I'm hearing about him out here in L.A. I wish I was in Dallas. It sounds like they were fun. Zeke is that alpha. People love him. Jerry Jones is committed to him. And I think that's ultimately going to be a bad mistake. And Cowboys fans, I've said it multiple times this week. I know Skip's going to come back next week, and he's going to be excited about the direction of Dallas. I just want to pump the brakes. I will repeat, the defense got lucky last year. When you're number one in turnover margin and you lead the league in picks, you're not going to do that again the following year. And ultimately, this Amari Cooper mistake, you know, cutting him, I think we can all agree it's a mistake. I don't even know if Dallas is a lock to win the division next year. Philly's coming. Let's see what Washington does at quarterback. I like Brian Dable a lot with the Giants. And since Rick loves when I go next level or make a hard left turn or whatever, Greg Jennings, I'll float it right now. Any team with a quarterback on a rookie deal should throw money at Amari Cooper. As you said, turning 28 in June, a great route runner, a field stretcher. He'll take the top off of defense. My New York Jets need to come calling. Corey Davis is not a number one. He's a number two. Elijah Moore, great slot guy. You give me Amari on the outside. Zach Wilson. Come on, Zach. Convince the Jets front office. Go get Amari Cooper before the Browns make a move. I would not be surprised if we saw Jacksonville to help Trevor Lawrence. Amari's going to have suitors, and Jerry Jones is going to be very upset, Greg. This is not good news for Dallas.
Yeah, Amari's definitely going to have suitors because of his talent and his ability to still make plays on the football field. But you're exactly right, Jason. This was Jerry Jones prematurely, or I shouldn't say prematurely, because at the time, Ezekiel Elliott was a prevalent part of the success of the Dallas Cowboys. And if they were going to be successful, it was highly regarded that you better turn around and hand the ball off to Zeke. And so Dak Prescott had not met that requirement of he's the guy that actually makes us go. That did not happen until you acquired Amari Cooper. And so for me, when you bring in a guy and the value of your most important asset goes up, that means the guy you brought in that allowed that to happen is just as valuable. So this is why it kind of blows me away, because how often do we see this happen, a receiver getting pushed out because of another young receiver coming in and making a splash and them believing it to be like, well, he can take over now. And it's not that easy. I've alluded to this before. We saw this with the Pittsburgh Steelers and Juju Smith-Schuster and the success he was having alongside of Antonio Brown. Understanding Antonio Brown had a lot of other things going on, but he was a phenomenal football player, and he garnered a ton of attention when it came to offensive play and defensive coordinators and defensive backs. Like, you weren't going to just allow the shade to be over on Juju. Why? Because you had Antonio Brown. The same could be said when we talk about Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is that type of talent. When he gets it going, he is hard to stop. He creates so much separation. He makes life easy for your quarterback. He understands the game of football. He gets to the sideline, and you never see him complaining. You never see him raising the Gatorade bottles and tossing anything. He plays the game the right way, and this is what you do to a guy like that. I just don't like that end of it. I get that it's a business, and somebody has to be the odd man out. But in my opinion, it should not be Amari Cooper.
And Greg, remember, Michael Gallup got hurt late in the season, surgery. He ain't going to be ready for September. So you're now looking at CeeDee Lamb and Cedric Wilson as your starting receivers in Dallas for Week 1.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.